Jungkook reveals his deep sadness to BTS's Jin. What broke him so badly behind the scenes? Why did Jungkook, the golden magne of BTS, suddenly break down in front of Jin? What kind of pain has he been silently carrying all this time? And why is this only coming to light now? Is it possible that even the brightest stars can crumble quietly behind the dazzling spotlight, away from the screaming fans, the flashing cameras, and the endless noise of fame? This is not just another moment of vulnerability shared by a celebrity. This is Jungkook, the member who has often been seen as the strongest, the most unbreakable, revealing something deeply personal to Jin, something that has shaken even the eldest young of BTS. The question now is, what exactly did he say, and why did it leave Jin so quiet, eyes welling up with emotion? It all began after a recent private live broadcast, one that wasn't meant to stir controversy or tears. But what seemed like a lighthearted conversation took a dark, emotional turn when Jin mentioned something seemingly casual, an offhand comment that triggered a deeper emotional response in Jungkook than anyone could have expected. Fans who watched closely noted the sudden change in Jungkook's tone, his slightly trembling voice, and the visible struggle in his eyes. Was it about the ongoing uncertainty surrounding BTS's future? Was it about the intense pressure of public expectations? Or perhaps something even more personal, his own fears of losing his identity amid the chaos of fame? Jungkook paused for several seconds after Jin's words. And then, for the first time in a long while, he allowed himself to be truly seen. Not as the idol on stage, not as the perfectionist in rehearsals, but as a young man burdened with questions, regrets, and silent worries. "Young," he finally said, "sometimes I wonder if I'm still doing this for the right reasons." This one sentence sent shockwaves, not just to Jin, but to every fan who has ever seen Jungkook smile through exhaustion. What could have driven him to such a heavy confession? Was there something behind the scenes we've never seen? Is HYB pushing the members too hard again, even after repeated fan outcries? Or is Jungkook facing a personal crossroads that could reshape everything? Jin, usually lighthearted and cheeky in tone, didn't laugh. He didn't deflect. He looked at Jungkook in silence, his expression turning solemn. "You've never told me that before," Jin whispered, barely audible, as if realizing for the first time how much his younger brother had been hiding behind that ever-perfect image. And then came the question from Jin that broke the hearts of many watching. "Have you been pretending all this time?" The chat section of the live exploded. Armies from around the world began speculating. Is this about the group's uncertain military status? Is Jungkook worried that BTS is no longer whole? Is he carrying guilt for feeling lost, while millions look up to him for strength? What makes this moment even more jarring is that it wasn't scripted. It wasn't planned. It wasn't part of any comeback promotion or documentary. It was real, raw, painfully authentic, and yet, this revelation doesn't come in isolation. Over the past few months, observant fans have noticed subtle signs. Jungkook has appeared more introspective, less active on social media, and even during performances, some say his smile doesn't quite reach his eyes like it used to. Could this have been building for a long time, only to be released now in front of the only Hyung he fully trusts? Many are now questioning how much the members of BTS are truly being supported emotionally, not just professionally. Is the label aware of what's happening behind the scenes? Are they truly listening when the members hint at burnout, sadness, or confusion? Or has the machine of K-pop once again consumed its brightest stars under the weight of global success? Jungkook didn't say everything, but what he did say has opened a floodgate of speculation, emotion, and concern. The youngest member, who once called Jin Ealma during their rookie days, is now turning to him again, not for jokes or advice, but for emotional rescue. And Jin, fresh out of the military, found himself unprepared for the depth of Jungkook's confession. What will happen next? Will this lead to a deeper discussion about mental health within BTS? Will HYB finally release a transparent statement about the group's future, or will this moment, like so many before, be swept under the rug in favor of PR control and staged smiles? More importantly, how long has Jungkook been holding this in? As fans continue to dissect every word, every pause, and every expression from that emotional moment, one thing is certain. Something shifted that day between Jin and Jungkook. Something honest, something painful, something that can no longer be ignored. And the questions keep coming. Was Jungkook talking about his role in BTS, or something else entirely? Is he considering a solo direction because he no longer feels seen within the group? Or is this all a reflection of something more universal? What happens when even the strongest feel lost? We'll continue to explore these questions in the full-length version of this article. 10,000 plus words, delving into historical patterns, insider interviews, psychological analysis, and fan theories that are now circulating across all platforms. This moment is more than just another emotional idol clip. It may be the first public crack in the armor of someone who has spent his entire life trying to be everything for everyone. So now, the most haunting question remains. Who is there for Jungkook when he finally says, "I'm not okay"? But as fans continue to speculate wildly across social media, pulling up old interview clips, reanalyzing past lyrics, and dissecting moments where Jungkook looked off during group appearances, an uncomfortable truth began to surface beneath all the emotional noise, and official footage of the emotional live ever existed. No trusted source confirmed that such a conversation between Jungkook and Jin actually took place. There were no timestamps, no verifiable clips, and no uploads on Weverse or any official channel. The screenshots circulating online were inconsistent in quality. Some were cropped strangely, and others had mismatched subtitles. Even fans who usually record every BTS live with meticulous detail couldn't agree on when this so-called moment actually happened. So, why did it feel so real? Because the idea of Jungkook crying to Jin feels plausible. Because we've seen the pressure on BTS. We've seen Jungkook carry more than his share of expectations. We've seen Jin step up as a hyung and a comforter before. The emotional weight of the narrative doesn't come from thin air. It taps into years of real history, brotherhood, and visible exhaustion. And that's exactly why this fabricated story gained so much traction. The idea that Jungkook might have confessed emotional turmoil to Jin is believable, but ultimately false. There was no verified incident of him saying, "Sometimes I wonder if I'm still doing this for the right reasons." That line, and others like it, were invented in a speculative chain of fan posts, later misquoted by clickbait accounts and repackaged by AI-generated narratives. A wave of emotional edits, slowed down TikTok videos with soft music, and heavily filtered photos fan the flames, making a fictional moment feel heartbreakingly authentic. And the damage was done. Thousands of fans believed it. Some cried. Some messaged support to Jungkook on Weverse. Some even expressed anger toward HYB for not protecting their artist, based on a moment that never happened. This raises a critical question for ARMYs and the media alike. At what point does emotional storytelling cross the line into misinformation? Is it fair to play on genuine concern for idols by manufacturing scenarios that never took place? Or is this the inevitable cost of a fandom culture so tightly intertwined with speculation, longing, and deep emotional investment? We cannot overlook how easy it is to fall for these narratives. They're designed to stir, designed to connect. But even the most well-meaning fans must stop and ask, where's the proof? Jungkook has indeed shown moments of vulnerability in the past. Jin has offered heartfelt advice and comfort. BTS has been candid about the toll that fame and global expectation can take on young artists. But this specific conversation, Jungkook crying to Jin, confessing doubts about his role, and hinting at emotional collapse, never happened. And in an era where misinformation can spread in seconds, even within passionate fandoms, the consequences of believing such falsehoods can be real. Emotional manipulation, even unintentional, breeds confusion and false expectations. It adds weight to the artists who now must address rumors they never started and feelings they never expressed, at least not in the way the story claimed to so. Let this be a reminder. Even the most emotional, believable, and viral BTS stories must be approached with caution. Ask where the source is. Ask who is reporting it. Ask if there is video evidence. because not everything that moves you is true. And sometimes, the most powerful moments we read are nothing more than fiction disguised in the language of pain. This story was fabricated. It did not happen. But the emotions it evokes speak volumes about the deep connection fans have to BTS, and why, more than ever, we must separate heartfelt storytelling from factual reporting.